Welcome to the Secrets Women Keep podcast. I am your secret keeper and confidant, Lauren White. I'm a qualified counsellor and sexologist, facilitator of all things turn on, author of Permission, and a witty, highly intuitive lounge room dancing introvert. I help you as an exceptional woman in entrepreneurship to see, love, and trust all the parts of yourself, especially the unseen. Let's pull back the curtain, light the candelabra, and lift the veil. These are the secrets women keep. Hello, and welcome to the Secrets Women Keep. You know who I am. I am Lauren White, and I am ecstatic that we get to talk about worthiness today. This topic is an activating one. Now, before I go into what I really want you to know about worthiness, I want to acknowledge that talking about worthiness has a lot of charge for people. And it holds a lot of charge because of experiences and memories that are rooted in trauma, particularly in childhood and adolescence. So before we go on, I want you to know that if you feel unworthy, and that if a lot of your feelings of unworthiness are rooted in trauma and a dysfunctional childhood, then I see you and I feel you. What I want for you today is to start to see and experience, more importantly, your worthiness in a different light, hopefully one that you've not been exposed to before. My intention is to help you press a powerful reset button on how you approach worthiness instead of going about it the same old way and just waiting for yourself to feel worthy. That's an old behavior. That's an old form of conditioning. It doesn't work that way, and it doesn't work that way for a very good reason. I'm going to tell you why in just a minute. And when I tell you all that I want you to know about worthiness, you're going to feel relieved. You are going to get the power back. You are not going to be waiting, feeling like you're helpless and you're in this no man's land, no woman's land of feeling unworthy, perpetually unworthy. It's not necessary, and it's not working for you and your highest good at all. We're cutting the cord with that. We're making today your line in the sand for stepping into and activating worthiness. Are you ready? The first thing I want you to know about worthiness, feeling enough, feeling worthy of what comes to you, is that you can't wait to feel worthy to access what it is you want. You cannot wait. Worthiness does not show up to you and stand in front of you and say, I'm here. Now you can begin your relationship with me. It doesn't work like that at all. I think all of us have tried and waited for that in our lives at some point and gone, come on, worthiness, show up. Come on, I'll feel enough. I'll feel enough when this shows up to me. The weird thing about that is that people who don't feel worthy are stepping into a behavior that is very different from how they live the rest of their lives. If you're a high generator, if you're generous, if you're energized, if you love what you do and you have multiple things on the go, you're a very active participant in your life in so many ways. It's a weird twist that when it comes to this particular feeling, the feeling of being worthy, the feeling of being enough, that you step into a very different persona in some ways. It's kind of a little bit entitled. It's like, well, it'll show up to me. When I do this thing, it'll just show up to me. When this happens, it'll show up to me. It's really interesting. I want you to approach worthiness and being enough the same way that you do everything else, but we're going to tweak it a little bit. You are not going to be approaching it with the energy of desperation or the energy of this has to happen or the energy of expectation. We're not going to do that. The first thing I want you to know is you are already whole, you're already worthy, you're already enough. I know, though, that those words are probably going to fall on deaf ears and they sound like a terribly basic Instagram graphic, Canva graphic, that probably wouldn't, stir me up too much if I saw it, but it's the truth. You already are whole, worthy, and enough. Now, instead of thinking and defaulting to waiting for worthiness to then inform you to take the action, you need to be brazen. You need to make an uncomfortable leap. And the motivation to take an uncomfortable leap is that you're already uncomfortable. If you are perpetually in this state of not feeling worthy, not feeling enough, you're already uncomfortable. So this is not a big ask. I'm going to ask that you stretch your discomfort and you are going to do the thing that you want to do, even though you don't feel worthy of it. You're calling in the upgrade, you're calling in the up level by doing it, even when your feelings don't align with it yet. Instead of waiting for the proof that you can then do this thing, be this thing, serve in this way, whatever it is, have this object of affection, be in a connection or a relationship with someone, you are going to take the leap first. You are going to feel uncomfortable, but you're already uncomfortable. This is a short burst of discomfort to get to the reward, a lot quicker than you were ever going to get to it from just passively waiting or just putting all these things out there, hoping that one of them comes back to you and validates you in your worthiness and your enoughness. When you make the uncomfortable leap and do the thing before you feel the feeling, pure magic happens. You need to be open to allowing that magic to happen. Otherwise, you're going to go into self-protection and sabotage mode. So how that would look is that you hear this podcast, you go and upgrade, you go and get the hotel suite that turns you on, you go and order the meal that really activates you, you go and buy the bunch of flowers that is extravagant, you sign up for the program that you've been circling around for months. Now, you need to be mindful of relishing in that feeling when you get it and not sabotaging it. Don't go into self-protection mode and go, no, this is too much, I need to stay small. When you are in the moment of the up level, really be in it, breathe it in, look around you, use all of your senses. Smell it in. Tell yourself, this is exactly what I want. This is exactly what I dreamed, and I'm worthy of it. Bask in it. Don't check out of the moment. Don't rush it. Don't just think about the next thing you've got to do when the moment's done, or you've got to leave the place, or the flowers die, or the program ends, or anything at all. Be in it. You do the thing. You make the decision. You step into the thing that you want to feel, and then you feel worthy of it. It's the paradox of worthiness and enoughness. You have to take the leap and be in it, in your body, and then the feelings are allowed to come in. No one gets handed worthiness. Anyone who gets handed worthiness without doing some inner work around it, or some inner reflection around it, is never going to fully feel it. It's a very personal experience. It's a very personal feeling state, and only you know if you feel it. I can sit here all day and default to the Instagram graphic, the Canva graphic of you are enough, you are whole, you are worthy. I can make a whole podcast with those sentences on repeat until you take action out there in the world that is symbolic for you of feeling worthy. Then it's not going to, really penetrate under the surface and reach where it needs to reach. You are worthy of having money. You are worthy of having savings. You are worthy of having experiences. You are worthy of stepping into the role that you dream of. You are worthy of being seen. You are worthy of connection. You're worthy of intimacy. You're worthy of orgasms. You're worthy of all of it. And now you need to take a breath and believe and decide that you're worthy of it, even if you don't fully believe it or feel it yet. We need to start flexing that worthiness muscle. We need to start somewhere. And whatever decision you make, it's not going to feel easy. It's not going to feel comfortable. You're not going to have everything perfectly in place to do that next thing. There's going to be some part of you that is fully taking you out of your comfort zone, which is actually already uncomfortable. You demonstrate that you're worthy, then you get the feelings of worthiness. I can't emphasize that enough. Now, I didn't love that it worked this way before I really knew this secret to worthiness, but now I know, and I've had a number of lived experiences of it. I appreciate it, and it actually has me feeling way more empowered. It causes me to pause and go, well, where am I feeling resistance? Why do I not believe I'm worthy of this? What's an action I can take to show myself I'm worthy and then get the feeling of worthiness? How can I expand? I always want to grow. I always want to expand. I always want more. So I'm up for the challenge, and I love that. I can decide what the challenge is going to be, and it can be so small or it can be so big. And don't overlook the small things. Don't overlook the thing buying the thing that feels a little bit superfluous or doesn't completely fit in with the picture perfect budget. Those can be really powerful moments of deciding that you're worthy and that you're stepping into trust. Little things are just as important as big things. I gave some big examples before. Hotels, programs. It can be you deciding that you are going to buy yourself some flowers. It can be small. It can be you deciding that you're worthy of rest. It can be you deciding that you're worthy of time. It can be you deciding that you're worthy of quiet. It doesn't have to need to be something that you purchase. Although I do love the things that you purchase. I will be honest. I love being in the space of things that represent luxury and growth and up level and things that are beautiful, like beauty and like feeling things that I can't create on my own because I'm not a designer. So it's this worthiness piece that feeds into the beauty of the world. And it feeds into the acknowledgement of how other people bring beauty into the world and flavor and texture. But like I said, it doesn't have to cost you anything. It can be worthy of things that cost you nothing monetarily, but are costing you physically, emotionally. So you have the power with worthiness. I hope you feel relieved by that. I hope you can now take a breath and ask yourself, what's one thing I can do to show myself that I'm worthy of this thing, even though I don't fully believe it yet? I hope this gives you the motivation. Worthiness is not going to come to you from doing the same things over and over again. You have to do things differently. And that's exciting. This is going to give your life a very different perspective and a very different sensation. You're going to be way more engaged with your life, and it's just going to bloom from there. Now, I want to let you in on another secret about worthiness and how to call it in. And one of the ways that I reprogrammed worthiness and really cemented it into my mind and into my body is that for years on social media, I would write the words "so worthy" in celebration of another woman's success or them achieving something that had meaning to them. I would write "so fucking worthy." I would often just write those 3 words and do a little emoji. So fucking worthy. So fucking worthy. I've written those words so many times on social media that every time I wrote them and went into the space of celebrating another woman, what I was sneakily doing is celebrating them at the level that I would appreciate being celebrated at if that were me. So I was reprogramming worthiness. Without knowing it, I was saying to my subconscious, this is possible for you. This is in alignment with you. This is coming to you. And when it does, and you put your success, your celebration out there, it will come back to you in the same way that you're currently giving it. So it's continuing that cycle of things, not feeling bitter, not feeling triggered, but going, man, she's so fucking worthy of that because I know she went for it. I know she was shaky at times and didn't feel 100% worthy, but she went for it. And if I went for it and I was stepping into all that I wanted to be, embodying all that I wanted to be and felt alive in that, then I would really appreciate the same words being shared or the similar feeling of words being shared. So something I learnt from Laura Hassan, whose wonderful program, the Shift Sessions I completed this year, all about subconscious transformation. She has an episode on the podcast. I definitely recommend you go listen to it, The Secrets of Your Subconscious. What she shared and what we touch on very briefly in that episode is when you say something or you say a series of words about someone else, your subconscious doesn't actually know that you're thinking them or speaking them about someone else. It actually believes that that's you and your current reality. But it takes a little while to tweak. It's not an instant hit and then your subconscious just up-levels you. But the more you celebrate and acknowledge the worthiness of other women, the more you can feel comfortable with feeling worthiness in yourself. You're doing this really, really sneaky reprogramming. And I feel like it's not just putting that out there, but it's also being open to receiving it back as you up-level and as you decide that you're worthy. The final thing I want to share with you about worthiness is one of my favorite things I say to myself is that being more will finally have you feeling enough. Being more will finally have you feeling enough. Worthiness? Sometimes women are doing all these things thinking the more I do, the more I'm going to feel worthy. And worthiness is an energy that doesn't really give a shit about doing more and like spreading all of your juice far and wide in a like haphazard manner. What worthiness cares about is you focusing on you being in your own version of more, you being in your own version of turn on, you being in your own version of clarity and really building that up and really daring to go there and to be over the top with it. Because sometimes you don't feel enough because you're denying yourself or you're more and you're quote unquote too much. And you're squashing that down and then going, but why don't I feel enough? That's another weird and wonderful pendulum experience of like, wait, I'm too much in this regard, Therefore, I'm going to swallow it down. I'm going to squash it down. But wait, I perpetually feel not enough. So maybe if I overdo all these things, then I'll finally feel enough. And it's like, no, because you're doing all the wrong things, or the things that aren't in alignment with you. So strip it back, embrace the sauciness of subtraction, and really nut out what you're doing too much of that feels really fruitless, and where you swallow down your too much and how you can start to express your too much. Express your big laughter. Express how you talk too much. Express how you like things that are over the top. Express something more about a topic, or indulge yourself in more of a topic that really has you feeling alive and really enlivens you. So access your too much and your more, and you'll finally feel enough. And that's very personal, and that is yours. Don't let anyone take that away from you. You being more will finally have you feeling enough. And I can attest to that. The more I access my more and my too much and my over the top and my indulgence and my hedonism in a really aligned way, I want to emphasize that. It's not just frivolous, whatever. It's all aligned. It's all conscious. It's all, this is what I want to do. The more I feel enough. I don't struggle with not feeling enough or feeling unworthy anymore. There'll be little blips of it, like I'm human. It is not an ongoing state of concern like it was for a very long time. You be you, you access your more, you take the action first, and then you feel the feeling. I really hope, I trust that this will be symbolic of you turning a corner with your worthiness. You have to do this. It is not going to just magically come to you. And this is what my clients are experiencing in their one-to-one process. This is what my clients in their VIP days are experiencing. They are making the decision and then being in the embodiment of that and feeling the feeling of worthiness. They're not waiting. They're taking really aligned action, and it's paying them back in their sovereignty, in their magnetism, in their capacity to connect with other people, and their ability to be in their bodies and be in their experience and self-soothe in a way more efficient way than they ever have. It pays you back, and it pays you back quickly. Be open to that. It does not have to be another 6 months. It does not have to be another year. It can happen quickly when you decide that you're worthy. It's happened for me, and it happens for my clients. And when you decide that and when you live it, you don't go back. It's so unappealing. It's a turn off, and it's a level of discomfort that you're no longer willing to tolerate. Yeah. You are so worthy. Now go do the thing that represents worthiness.